The Philippines stands at a dangerous crossroads, caught between its longtime ally, the United States, and its powerful neighbor, China. For years, Manila has tried to balance economic benefits from Beijing with security guarantees from Washington. But recent events have forced a bold and risky pivot, sending shockwaves across the region. This isn't just about diplomacy, it's about the nation's future, its economy, and its security. The shift is the result of mounting pressure and tough choices. China offers massive investments and a huge market, while America remains the cornerstone of Philippine defense. Deepening ties with China marks a fundamental rethinking of historic alliances, a gamble with high stakes. The US is now pushing allies to pick sides in its rivalry with China, urging economic decoupling. For the Philippines, refusing America risks economic punishment. Accepting means turning away from a vital economic partner. Manila's pivot toward China is a direct response to this superpower standoff. But the Philippines isn't just a pawn, it's making calculated moves for its own interests. The consequences are far-reaching, affecting millions of Filipinos and reshaping regional security. The world is watching. Will this pivot bring prosperity or peril? The stakes have never been higher. The Philippines is betting on its own future in a world of giants. The Philippines' deal with China is more than a handshake. It's a sweeping package of economic and strategic incentives. China has pledged billions for new railways, bridges, and ports, promising jobs and growth for the archipelago. Trade concessions mean easier access for Philippine exports, especially fruits, giving farmers a much-needed boost. More Chinese tourists are expected, offering hope to the battered tourism sector. But the deal isn't just economic. It includes cooperation on maritime issues, possibly joint resource exploration in disputed waters. For Beijing, this is a diplomatic win, undermining international rulings and setting a precedent for direct negotiations. China's strategy is clear: use economic power to achieve strategic goals and weaken the US alliance system in Asia. For Manila, it's a calculated risk, hoping to harness China's economic engine while managing the political costs. The stakes: national development versus sovereignty and security. The Philippines is betting it can have both. But the world is watching to see if this gamble pays off. The outcome could reshape the region's balance of power. The US wasted no time responding to the Philippines' pivot toward China. In July 2025, Washington slapped a 20% tariff on all Philippine imports, a direct economic blow. The message siding with China comes at a steep price. The tariff takes effect in August, leaving Philippine businesses scrambling. The US is targeting not just China, but any country seen as helping Beijing bypass American trade barriers. For the Philippines, the timing is brutal. The US is a top trading partner, buying billions in goods each year. Electronics, garments, and agricultural products will all become more expensive for American consumers, threatening Filipino exporters. Officials are rushing to negotiate, hoping for a new trade deal or tariff relief. But Washington is clear: decoupling from China is the price for better terms. The Philippines now faces the direct economic fallout of its geopolitical choices. The tariff is a warning to others in the region. Manila must now weigh the cost of its pivot. Can it withstand the pressure? The stakes are immediate and real. The economic pain is just beginning. The US tariff isn't just a policy, it's a threat to millions of Filipino livelihoods. Factories making goods for America face canceled orders and layoffs as buyers look elsewhere. The electronics sector, a major export driver, could lose its edge overnight. Local suppliers and small businesses are at risk, not just big corporations. Farmers too are vulnerable. Years of building US markets for products like coconut oil and bananas could unravel. The uncertainty makes it hard for anyone to plan or invest. For many, the superpower rivalry feels distant until it hits their paycheck. The tariff turns geopolitics into a kitchen table crisis. Families worry about jobs, businesses, and the future. The human cost is measured in lost opportunities and growing anxiety. The government faces mounting pressure to find solutions. The trade war's impact is real, immediate, and deeply personal. Ordinary Filipinos are left to navigate a crisis they didn't create. The stakes are no longer abstract, they're painfully real. Facing pressure from both China and the US, the Philippines is forging a new path, an arc of security alliances. President Marcos Jr. is building partnerships beyond traditional allies, seeking strength in diversity. The goal: more strategic flexibility and resilience against external threats. This strategy responds to China's assertiveness in the South China Sea, rallying international support for the 2016 arbitral ruling. By teaming up with other maritime nations and middle powers, Manila aims to push back collectively against violations of international law. The US alliance remains the ultimate backstop, but new ties with Japan, Australia, India, and Europe add extra layers of security. Joint exercises, intelligence sharing, and Coast Guard training are all on the table. This multi-layered approach makes the Philippines a more capable actor on the world stage. It's a trend among Indo-Pacific middle powers, building networks to avoid being forced to choose sides. The Philippines is positioning itself as a key player in a multipolar order. It's a proactive, sophisticated strategy to shape its own security environment. Manila is determined not to be just a bystander in great power rivalry. In a surprising move, the Philippines has partnered with Lithuania, a small Baltic state facing its own pressures from Russia. Their new pact, signed in June 2025, signals a shift in global security dynamics. Both nations are on the front lines against authoritarian giants, China for the Philippines, Russia for Lithuania. The agreement covers defense policy, cybersecurity, and maritime security, with potential for joint munitions production. Lithuanian officials frame this as a stand against an authoritarian axis, resonating with Manila's concerns. For the Philippines, the alliance is symbolic and strategic, showing its arc of alliances is truly global. Partnering with a NATO and EU member strengthens Manila's voice and highlights its commitment to a rules-based order. This move counters the narrative that the Philippines is simply drifting into China's orbit. Instead, it's balancing economic ties with Beijing and security ties with like-minded democracies. The Lithuania connection is a small but crucial piece of Manila's complex foreign policy puzzle. It's a sign of a more sophisticated, global approach to security. TE Philippines is walking a diplomatic tightrope, balancing China's economic allure with America's security umbrella. The government's strategy compartmentalizes, seeking economic gains from China while maintaining strong security ties with the US. But both superpowers are losing patience with ambiguity. The US links trade and security, warning Manila it can't have both. China, meanwhile, expects political concessions in exchange for investment, downplaying disputes and reducing US military ties. Any sign of closer Western alliances like the Lithuania Pact draws Beijing's ire. Manila is caught in a constant balancing act, trying to appease both sides, the risk pleasing no one, and ending up isolated. The government must signal commitment to both, but the margin for error is razor thin. The stakes: national security, economic growth, and diplomatic credibility. The tightrope walk is a test of leadership and resolve. One misstep could leave the Philippines more vulnerable than ever. Beneath the headlines, what do ordinary Filipinos want for their country's future? The answer is complex. Public opinion is divided. Many see China's economic opportunities as a path to jobs and prosperity. Others are fiercely protective of national sovereignty, especially in the West Philippine Sea. There's deep skepticism of China's intentions and strong support for a robust defense and close US ties. Cultural and historical bonds with America run deep for many families. Some see the US tariffs as a wake-up call to mend old alliances. Most Filipinos want peace, prosperity, and sovereignty, a future that blends economic growth with national pride. They want leaders who can skillfully navigate global politics for the nation's benefit. The challenge: uniting these hopes into a coherent national strategy. The stakes are nothing less than the country's future. The Philippines has chosen a complex, uncertain path, deepening ties with China while building new security alliances. This isn't a simple pivot, it's a high-stakes gamble for independence in a world of superpower rivalry. The immediate challenge: coping with US tariffs and supporting affected industries. At the same time, Manila must manage its relationship with Beijing, protecting sovereignty in the West Philippine Sea. Success depends on diplomatic agility and strategic foresight. The crisis could force the Philippines to diversify its economy and strengthen its alliances. By engaging partners from Lithuania to Japan, Manila aims to become a globally connected middle power. This moment could spark innovation and national renewal. The future will be shaped by the choices of leaders and citizens alike. The journey is uncharted, the risks real. The goal: a sovereign, prosperous, and secure Philippines. Is this the right strategy? Only time will tell. For Filipinos, the outcome is personal: their lives, their future, their nation. As the Philippines steps into an uncertain future, one question remains: how will its relationships with China and the wider world evolve? The nation stands at a crossroads, balancing economic opportunity with the need for sovereignty and security. Will new alliances unlock fresh avenues for growth, or will old rivalries pull the country into deeper challenges? In the coming years, much will depend on the ability of Filipino leaders to adapt, negotiate, and innovate. The world is watching as the Philippines carves out its own path, one that could redefine its place on the global stage. For now, the next chapter is unwritten. The choices made today will echo across generations, shaping not just the Philippines' destiny but its role in a rapidly changing world. As we reflect on the Philippines' journey, several key takeaways stand out. The nation's strategic choices, between economic partners, security alliances, and its own sovereignty, will shape its future for decades to come. While the path forward is filled with both promise and uncertainty, the resilience and adaptability of the Filipino people remain its greatest assets. Looking ahead, several scenarios could unfold. The Philippines may deepen ties with traditional allies, seek new partnerships, or strive for greater independence on the world stage. Each choice brings its own risks and rewards. Ultimately, the nation's future will be determined by how it navigates these complex global dynamics, balancing opportunity with caution and ambition with care. As the story continues, one thing is clear: the Philippines is not just reacting to global events, it is actively shaping them. The world will be watching as the next chapters are written,